The report came out that Rich Paul, who did an interview about a week ago, said if the New York Knicks did not win a championship, and this is when I soured on the idea officially of bringing LeBron James to the New York Knicks, and I know a lot of people were soured on it anyway. When Rich Paul said, had the Knicks not won the championship, LeBron James would be a New York Knick right now. That completely ended it for me. Because LeBron wants to go to a place where he's the centerpiece, where he's the savior in his own mind now.
The spin machine in Los Angeles just ran out of gas, and the truth is finally spilling out. LeBron James and his super agent Rich Paul have spent years peddling fairy tale narratives to cover up their shameless ring chasing. But when you lie to the entire basketball world for over a decade, the receipts always catch up to you. Do you think LeBron James actually tried to join the New York Knicks after they won a title? Or is Rich Paul just making up stories to cover his tracks? Let me know in the comments below. We have to talk about this massive media circus that just unfolded. Do y'all remember when Clutch Sports super agent Rich Paul went on television and claimed that if the New York Knicks had won the NBA championship, there would be no board, meaning LeBron would not even consider joining them? So let me give you the absolute, unvarnished truth about what really happened behind closed doors. Rich Paul sat right up there on camera and claimed that the New York Knicks brass actually reached out to LeBron James to initiate trade talks. When the interviewer asked him directly if the Knicks called, Rich started stuttering and stammering like a Migos verse. He said they checked in, repeated it 3 times, and tried to act like New York was begging for LeBron's services. Rich Paul even tried to claim that Jalen Brunson would literally have to pick up his phone and personally reassure LeBron that there was no issue with him coming to the Garden.
You back in the gym already. The thought process of wanting to repeat again. Obviously, the pieces you guys have right now are excellent, right? But you can always add more. Right. You know, it's like cooking food. Ain't nothing wrong with adding a little seasoning to it. Did you pitch to a certain player who's in free agency right now who has yet to decide where he wants to go to probably come to New York? I'm just asking.
You guys want to know? You guys want to know? All right.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna love me for this. I got asked this question recently, and I answered it perfectly, truthfully. My job is to go out there, dribble the ball, put the ball in the hoop.
Yes.
Try and play a little defense. There's people who are above me that make jobs who determine who's on the team and who's not. So I leave the pitching to them.
And of course, Jalen Brunson got asked about this exact quote at Fanatics Fest. What Brunson said sent LeBron fanboys into a complete tailspin. Brunson sat on stage, laughed, and said his job is simply to go out on the floor, dribble the basketball, put the ball in the hoop, and try to play a little defense. He straight up told the media that there are people positioned far above him in the front office who make decisions on who is on the team and who is not, so he leaves all the pitching and recruiting to them. Jalen Brunson wanted absolutely zero part of LeBron James in New York. There was no fake kicking it, no public recruitment, and no begging. It was straight business. Basically saying the front office handles those moves and he just plays ball. Now, we let Rich Paul breathe for a second. We let Rich Paul get away with that narrative for a minute because people thought, well, of course LeBron would consider the Knicks if they fell short. But Rich Paul left out a massive piece of the puzzle. Reports are officially surfacing now that LeBron James's camp called the Knicks after New York won the championship, trying to force his way onto the team for this upcoming season. And guess what happened? Leon Rose and the entire Knicks front office stood firm and said absolutely not. Knicks understood from the very beginning that if LeBron James joins your franchise, your organizational culture gets destroyed from within. Your front office gets hijacked, your locker room gets leaked to the media, your fan base gets infiltrated by bandwagons you have never seen before, and all the negative pressure gets heaped directly onto LeBron's teammates. Knicks fans should be dancing in their Timberland boots over this news because their front office dodged a massive bullet. And this exact scenario is why we need to pray for Philadelphia 76ers fans right now. League executives are already whispering that if this volatile experiment featuring Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, and Joel Embiid fails, Joel Embiid will be the very first player shipped out in a package deal for Anthony Davis.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's LeBron. LeBron has more to lose because if you think about it, Embiid only has something to gain. There's nothing to lose. When you think about Joel Embiid, what do you think about? The process. Trust the process. And you think about a long history of losing, not making it to the conference finals. His legacy is, I believe, set. It can only get better if they actually, two ways it gets better. If he makes it through the entire season on the Philadelphia 76ers roster, meaning not traded, which will be difficult to do, and...
Wait, Embiid, you're saying, if he makes the entire season staying on the 76ers roster?
Correct.
Not traded during the season?
Correct. That's a win for him.
Okay.
That they don't trade him, okay?
But he is huge salary.
Right, okay, I know.
Okay,
I know.
continue.
And then as you progress, if they are to win a championship. So that's increasing in the legacy. There's no decreasing. We only think he's an injured former MVP that, as Shea just said, makes too much money that some people believe, as Shea just said, is untradeable.
Training camp has not even started yet, and the media is already actively discussing trading Joel Embiid. They are already laying the concrete foundation for Embiid to be the official scapegoat if Philadelphia does not win 60 games and steamroll through the Eastern Conference. If you do not believe me, just go turn on ESPN and listen to their talking heads argue about it all afternoon. They literally ran a segment asking who has more to lose this upcoming season in Philadelphia. Is it LeBron James or Joel Embiid? And what did the analysts say? They claimed it has to be Joel Embiid because LeBron's legacy is already set in stone as the second greatest player to ever lace up sneakers. They argued that there is zero risk for LeBron in Philadelphia, while Embiid carries all the pressure because LeBron has won everywhere he has gone in his career. So look at how the spin machine operates. The brand new media narrative is that we cannot possibly blame LeBron James if Philadelphia collapses because Unc has won everywhere he goes. They constantly claim LeBron needs more help, yet he is stepping onto a roster that already features 120 points of proven scoring output in the starting lineup before you even look at the bench unit. From a pure scoring perspective, this Philadelphia group is statistically the most loaded roster LeBron has ever joined in his entire 22-year career.
I do not know about the rest of you, but I am not giving this super team any passes whatsoever. When you stack this much elite talent, star power, and salary cap weight together, alongside a guy who claims to be the greatest of all time with the highest basketball IQ in history, this roster has to win a championship in year one. You cannot join the 76ers, announce to the world that you are the missing piece to deliver a title, and then turn around and say that if you lose, it is because the franchise had a losing culture before you arrived. ESPN analysts are sitting on national TV telling fans not to blame LeBron because Joel Embiid has missed almost 500 games in his career. They point out that over the last 3 seasons, Embiid has played in roughly half the amount of regular season games that LeBron has played. Believing Joel Embiid is going to play 82 games completely healthy is like believing in the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus. Did LeBron forget that he signed with the 76ers knowing Embiid's entire medical history? LeBron literally met with Embiid in Los Angeles over the summer, listened to Embiid say his body felt great, and chose to pack his bags for Philadelphia. And then LeBron's camp has the nerve to put out statements claiming he is not ring chasing. In the exact same breath, official reports state that the 76ers became his clearest option for an immediate championship run. This man is a walking, talking contradiction. How can you complain on one hand about people criticizing your career choices and then turn around and claim you are not chasing titles when you join 3 current All-Stars?
Well, we always get criticized. What else is new?
But here's the criticism. Let me articulate the criticism as well as I can and see what Sham's 2 cents is. LeBron has definitely joined teams and put teams together or been a part of putting teams together that were going to be, at the very least, extremely competitive. Now, when he did that in Cleveland, you understand, they weren't going to make a move, obviously, that was going to make them competitive. He had to drag a substandard group into the finals. It's amazing. He stacked it in Miami, no question. Him and Wade were 2 of the 3 or 4 best players in the world on the same team. And Bosh was excellent.
Or did
everyone did? But he was part of it. Like Wade and Bosh stacked it, right? And Pat Riley and you and a whole bunch of people, it was stacked.
No, I didn't stack it. I was
right. Okay.
Even Max Kellerman had to call him out on his own podcast platform. Max Kellerman has been holding LeBron's hand for years, but even Max had to take one hand off and speak the absolute truth.
Kellerman looked right at the camera and said LeBron is clearly chasing championships, and that when LeBron claims otherwise, fans get annoyed because he is trying to have his cake and eat it too. Max Kellerman completely ethered him. You cannot leave a franchise claiming they did not give you a sufficient chance to win, go form a brand new super team with 3 other superstars, and then look the public in the eye and pretend you aren't chasing rings. This level of hypocrisy is completely wild. Knicks fans really need to thank their lucky stars that LeBron did not land in Manhattan. He would have completely dismantled that franchise. Look at what happened to Cleveland after he packed his bags the second time in 2018. When LeBron left Cleveland, the franchise collapsed into a state of total decay. It took 5 full seasons of lottery drafting for the Cavaliers to recover from the asset gutting LeBron left behind. Cleveland was in such bad shape after he left that fans were literally comforting themselves by saying, "At least we are not Detroit." But the point stands. LeBron leaves a trail of burnt resources and empty draft closets everywhere he goes. Now, let us look at how Rich Paul tried to respond to Max Kellerman when he got cornered on this exact topic. Rich Paul tried to normalize LeBron's serial super team hopping by comparing it to normal, everyday corporate jobs. Rich Paul asked Kellerman what normal people chase when they wake up and go to work every morning. Max said money and success. Rich Paul then argued that he does not understand why basketball fans nitpick a player for putting himself in the absolute best position to win, comparing it to an everyday employee picking their own salary, their own working hours, and their own off days. Look at that ridiculous comparison. Rich Paul literally defined being a serial super team hopper as just putting yourself in a good position. What is wrong with modern sports culture? Everyone wants the easiest path possible. This is the exact reason why LeBron James does not command the universal, unanimous respect that his cumulative statistics say he should have. He did not get his championships out of the mud. He did not take his playoff beatings, stay in one city, and rebuild his roster like Michael Jordan or Giannis Antetokounmpo did. Whenever the road got slightly bumpy, he went out and recruited 2 or 3 other superstars to bail him out. Rich Paul basically admitted on camera that LeBron wants to dictate his own schedule, take off days whenever he feels like it, and run the organization instead of building organic team chemistry. It is all about control. Philadelphia 76ers management has completely surrendered control of their franchise to Clutch Sports, and Sixers fans are sitting in comment sections pretending everything is going to be fine. When a team making $60 million a year fails, you do not blame the role player making $3.9 million on the bench. You blame the superstar megastars who force the front office to build the roster around them.
Let us look at the actual mathematical breakdown of the 4 super teams LeBron has assembled throughout his career. In 2010 with the Miami Heat, LeBron joined Dwayne Wade, who was averaging 26.6 points per game, and Chris Bosh, who was averaging 24.0 points and 10.8 rebounds per game. That team had 3 of the top 5 draft picks from the legendary 2003 draft class sharing one floor. Yet despite that massive talent stack, they went 2-2 in the finals, including an embarrassing loss to an aging Dallas Mavericks squad in 2011, where LeBron scored just 8 points in Game 4. In 2014 with the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron returned to pair up with Kyrie Irving, who was coming off a season averaging 20.8 points and 6.1 assists, while forcing a trade for Kevin Love, who had just averaged 26.1 points and 12.5 rebounds per game in Minnesota. Over 4 straight finals runs with that stacked group, they won just 1 title while losing 3 times to Golden State. In 2019 with the Los Angeles Lakers, after missing the playoffs completely in his first season, LeBron forced a franchise-altering trade for Anthony Davis, who was averaging 25.9 points, 12.0 rebounds, and 2.4 blocks per game. That produced 1 single championship during the 2020 shortened bubble season, followed by play-in exits and first-round losses over the next 4 years. Now in 2026 with the Philadelphia 76ers, LeBron joins Joel Embiid, who averaged 34.7 points per game when healthy, Tyrese Maxey, who averaged 25.9 points and 6.2 assists per game, and Jalen Brown, who averaged 23.0 points per game. That is 4 elite primary scoring options jammed into 1 single starting lineup. When you compare that constant roster jumping to Michael Jordan's career trajectory, the difference in individual dominance is staggering. Michael Jordan played 13 seasons for the Chicago Bulls. He won 6 NBA championships, went a perfect 6-0 in the finals, won 6 finals MVPs, 5 regular season MVPs, and 10 scoring titles. Jordan never hopped to another franchise during his prime to join Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, or Hakeem Olajuwon. When Detroit beat Chicago in 3 straight playoff series from 1988 to 1990, Jordan did not call up Isaiah Thomas to form a super team. He stayed in Chicago, hit the weight room, elevated Scottie Pippen, and swept Detroit in 1991. LeBron James has accumulated impressive career totals by playing 22 seasons, but he has won only 1 scoring title in his entire career, back in 2008. He has lost 6 separate NBA Finals series. He has hopped to 4 different franchises. Taking shortcuts to accumulate longevity records will never hold the same weight as staying in one place and dominating the league from start to finish. The national sports media wants to shield LeBron from criticism, but the numbers and historical patterns do not lie. Rich Paul can attempt to spin the narrative on every podcast in America, but real basketball fans see right through the excuses. This upcoming NBA season is going to be absolute cinema. Make sure y'all invade the comments section down below. Let me know how you feel about LeBron James lying about wanting to join the New York Knicks. 76ers fans, drop a comment and tell me how you feel about Joel Embiid already being pre-packaged as the media scapegoat before training camp even tips off. Rich Paul can spin the story all he wants, but the truth always wins in the end. LeBron's super team blueprint has been exposed, and Philadelphia is about to pay the price. If you want raw sports commentary without the media fluff, hit that like button and subscribe right now.